Students studying at the University of Hull will not be marked down for poor spelling, grammar and punctuation in exams because it would be elitist. However, critics say lowering standards of assessments lowers expectations of what they should achieve.
Well, this new policy is a far cry from the popular tradition of spelling bees, where students are praised for their precision and accuracy, like in this international competition between
Praised
the
for
UK...
their what?
What did I say?
I don't know.
Oh.
I think it was supposed to be accuracy.
Oh, shush, don't make a fuss. Nobody noticed. Between the UK and the United States in 1938. Take a look. So there we go. That was how it was done back in the day. I might not be able to speak. I can spell.
You
and
certainly
I can do my grammar
yes,
instead.
yes.
Should we care about it, though? Does spelling and does grammar really matter? Joining us now to talk about this is business owner and Sunday Times bestseller Steven Bartlett, who says if you mark people down because of their spelling rather than what they have to offer, it's short-sighted. Hopefully we'll be able to reconnect with him in just a second. And also, we're joined by the broadcaster Christine Hamilton, who thinks if we want a level playing field, we should be levelling up and not down. Good morning to both of you. Christine, let's come to you first. I mean, if someone can get their message across, if people understand what they're saying, how much does the detail of the spelling and the grammar really matter?
Well, I think it matters hugely, and as you said in that quote from me, that we should be levelling up, not levelling down. And universities, frankly, I'm astonished that Hull University has said this, because universities should be places of excellence where people should be raised up and encouraged to raise their standards, and people should learn to aspire. And sooner or later, if you can't spell, if you don't know the difference between 2, 2 and 2, or there and there, or, I mean, I had a letter the other day from a 5-year-old who couldn't spell grateful. She'd put Greatful, and I sent it back with a gentle correction. Now, you need to know these things. It indicates a lack of education. And
Hold on, Christine.
Well, it's all order for a 5-year-old, Christine.
A 5-year-old child sent you a letter with the word grateful in. If my 16-year-old sent a letter for the first time, handwritten with grateful, I would be thrilled to bits. And you had to correct her.
Well, I thought that was right, just gently. Of course, I said all the right things about how wonderful it was to receive her beautifully written letter, etc. But I think people should be encouraged to spell properly. I mean, it is important. Sooner or later, most people are going to come up against a job application, something they have to do in writing, and instantly it indicates a lack of education. Now, if you are sifting through hundreds of job applicants, and there are some and some without, which ones are you going to reject?
Let's go to Stephen then. Stephen, if you're not spelling things right, if you're not getting your grammar right, you're not aspiring to be the best you can be.
What a load of nonsense. I can't believe what I've just heard. As you said in my introduction, I'm currently in the Sunday Times bestselling list with my book, Happy Sexy Millionaire, currently as we speak. And my spelling is awful. I had no ghostwriters, wrote the book myself. In fact, when I reread the audiobook, I found 5 spelling mistakes in the book. It's rated 5 stars. People love it because they see past pedanticness, as we're seeing from Christy, and they look for value, and they look for value in people in the working world. As you go through your life, will look for value. She just called a 5-year-old that made a spelling mistake uneducated. I hate to say this, but Christy, as I was preparing to have this conversation with you today, I went on your website, November 26th. You wrote an article about MasterChef. There's no A in competent. You spelt competent wrong.
Christine, you made a spelling mistake.
How much has this held you back, Christy?
First thing, I did not say that my 5-year-old correspondent was uneducated. I've never said that.
How much has it held you back?
I didn't. There was a spelling mistake. OK, I apologise if there was a spelling mistake in an article. But, Stephen, you are a very lucky person. You've got immense resourcefulness. You've clearly got entrepreneurial skills. And, by the way, that was a brilliant plug for your book.
These are the things that matter. And these are the things that matter in life. No, these are the you've nailed it. These are the things that matter in life. You said I'm resourceful, I'm hardworking, things like creativity, problem-solving skills. In fact, in 2021, knowing how to use and search the internet is multiples more important than knowing how to get long words spelt correctly. Your mindset and your viewpoint, I'm being honest with you now, is archaic, it's pedantic, and like the wider university education system, it's dwelling in irrelevance. This is not how the world works anymore.
nobody is saying that if you can spell properly and write properly, that means you don't have to be able to do anything else. Nobody has said that. I certainly haven't said that. We're talking about
a 5-year-old that meant a spelling mistake.
Oh, if you're going to spend these few minutes talking about one spelling mistake in 2006, that was a typo.
No. It wasn't 2006. It's the 8th article in November. And I'm talking about the 5-year-old who sent you a letter and you sent it back because there was a spelling mistake. That is pedantic, as is this opinion.
Okay. All right. Let's move it on slightly. Stephen, just one moment. I mean, I think... Hold on a sec, Christine. Stephen, one of the points that Christine does make, and I think this is a really important point for school leavers particularly, or people who are looking for a new job, is the importance of spelling in something like a letter or a CV for a new job. I'd imagine that you would still believe that, admittedly, it's about the content, it's about the creative thinking, it's about the abilities and skills you have, but that is somewhere where you want to make sure that your grammar and your spelling is tip-top.
Yeah, so we have having a basic understanding of maths and English is really important in the world. But marking people down at university, which is what this conversation is about, because of spelling mistakes, is pedantic, and it isn't conducive, or it isn't a sign of the true value that individual can add to the world. Richard Branson is dyslexic. He can't spell. He found out when he was 60 years old. He's done all right. Steven Spielberg wrote some of the world's best films. Can't spell, dyslexic. And what you're going to do, and the real danger here and why I'm so passionate about this, is you're going to mark someone down, give them a D or an E or whatever it might be. They'll go through life thinking that they are less capable because of something so pedantic, and that will hold them back in various ways that actually do matter.
Yeah, Christine, you know, on that point, there are those, because of dyslexia, who it is really difficult for them when they look at words, you know, they see them differently. Is it fair, then, that when you come to a situation where you're marking someone, if they've come up with amazing ideas, they know all their material, but you can look and say, well, you know, yeah, but they haven't spelt that right, this grammar isn't quite correct. Should they be marked down if you're looking at someone else who doesn't know their subject matter as well, hasn't made as many good points, but has spelt everything beautifully and has every word in the right place?
Well, you mentioned dyslexia, which is a very specific situation, and as I'm aware, understand it, there are already allowances are made for people who are known to be dyslexic. It's something we well understand now, and people do make allowances for that. We're not talking about dyslexia, and of course there are these amazing dyslexics. Richard Branson, I think it was Einstein, was a dyslexic. We're talking about people who have no problems like that, who should be, if they're educated properly. And what is happening in schools? Why aren't young people taught how to spell? How can people arrive at university level doing degrees, etc., without being able to spell? It shouldn't be happening. We should be, if it is happening, we should be addressing the problem.
Are you saying then, OK, because we take dyslexia aside, which of course is a condition that many people experience and is recognised much better at school now, are you saying these people that haven't learned to spell, because I undoubtedly would argue that teachers and schools are trying to teach that, they're just being lazy?
Well, you can't just say they're all being lazy, of course not. But if you reach the age of university, 17, 18, and you can't do basic spelling, I mean, if you don't know the difference between few and less, that's maybe marginally less important, as it were. But if you can't spell basic English words, there is something wrong with your education. That's really my point. You know, the ability to express yourself comprehensively and accurately, whether it's orally or by the written word, it's one of the most important life skills you will ever learn. And not everybody is as lucky as Stephen, who can get by on other things. Most of us need to be able to write properly.
OK. Last word to you, Stephen.
Yeah, I mean, it's utter nonsense. I would consider that the word competent is a basic English word, and she can't spell that right. There's a typo on her own website, and it hasn't held her back. She had no idea it was there because it's that irrelevant. As it is when you go through life. We have things like spell checker now in Grammarly, and they fix my words in emails. And so I can focus on things that really matter, like who I am, my character, how hard I'm willing to work, my resourcefulness, my use of my own sort of intuition, and all these things which do you in life, and marking people down on pedantic things does cause a potential risk of holding them back in areas where things, you know, in their professional career where things really will matter. OK, well, Stephen, Christine, we're going to have to leave it there. But, sorry, Christine, you know, you've said so much. Thank you both very much. We can't have any more. Should we find out what the viewers think? Because you've been getting in touch on our Twitter poll this morning. Should we care about spelling and grammar? That's the question we've been asking. Let's take a look at the result. 88%. Wow.
said yes.
88% of you. Tanya says, I once had to advise a couple of school leavers that work emails should be written in full sentences, not in text language. And he says many people have forgotten how to spell due to spell checkers on computers and predictive text. Technology is dumbing us down. Andrew says, though, our primary school, they don't worry about spelling as long as they can read it and the content is there. That is enough.
Well, do you know what? I get the feeling that the first thing Christine is going to be doing right now is rushing over to her website to correct that spelling mistake.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you very much to Stephen. Sexy millionaire, what was it? Sexy happy millionaire? He certainly looks happy. And Christine as well, Christine Hamilton. I still feel it's really, really unfair of her to send a letter back to a 5-year-old who put greatly in a letter. What a fabulous word to put in a letter. Just got the spell wrong. Oh.
Yeah.
I'm getting corrected now.
My granny did do that to me. We wrote for my mum and dad when it was their wedding anniversary, and I wrote a letter to my granny to invite her, and I forgot to put double N on anniversary. I was quite little at the time, and she wrote back saying, I would love to come, but please don't forget that anniversary. 2 N and not 1. So attention to detail in our family.